Coming up on today's edition of Vikings Now by Chat Sports, we got a big-time update on wide receiver Justin Jefferson coming straight from Kevin O'Connell, who spoke to the media yesterday. And then we're going to be diving into a full-on Sunday night football preview. It's the Vikings, it's the Broncos, two of actually the hottest teams in the NFL. They're going to be squaring off this Sunday night. So I'll be diving into everything you need to know around the Broncos and then a little bit of some keys to victory around the Minnesota Vikings. But my name is Patrick Siepman, and welcome in. But if you guys want the Vikings to beat the Broncos, before we dive into it all, just give me a like on today's video. Don't jinx us. Let's get the good vibes, the good mojo going. If you want the Vikings to beat the Denver Broncos and honestly extend this winning streak to 6 games, can't believe I'm saying that, go down there and like today's video. Let's dive into it. Kevin O'Connell, he was asked about this, obviously about Justin Jefferson this week, and this was the latest quote we have. Somebody asked him, are we going to see him Sunday night? And he said, we will see. We're going to ramp him up. He handled the workload that we started him out with last week, opening up his window to get him back on the practice field. We will see what that looks like throughout the week. Maybe a little bit more here or there. Nobody wants to be out there more than Justin, but we're going to continue to be smart with him. And that was kind of typical coach talk right there by Kevin O'Connell. He's not going to let the Denver Broncos have any insight on whether he is or not going to play. But I fully expect 18 to be ready to go this Sunday, and he will be out there. Listen, I understand, you want to be cautious with Justin Jefferson, but, we'll dive into the Broncos defense here in a little bit later. But, they do have a very talented defense. Like, they are a good defense so far in the league. Obviously, you remember they got 70 hung on them against the Dolphins, but since then they have really turned around. So I expect Jefferson to be out there on the big stage Sunday Night Football playing for our Vikings. But some other more injury news around the Vikes. We can go through these pretty quickly here. KJ Osborn, he's going to play after suffering a concussion against the Falcons. He cleared protocols last week, just kind of cautionary why they didn't play him against the Saints. Then Alexander Mattison, he actually suffered a concussion versus the New Orleans Saints, so he'll likely be out with a concussion this Sunday. So no Madison. Expect to see a lot of Tai Chandler. We'll break him down here in a second. But then also Akayleb Evans. He's day-to-day right now with a calf strain that he suffered against the New Orleans Saints. But Andrew Booth actually stepped in and played pretty well against the Saints when Evans was in and out of the lineup. But he's day-to-day with the calf strain. That's everything on the Viking side of things. But the Broncos side of things, honestly, nothing. The Broncos are a very healthy team right now. Actually, dating back to last week, the last injury report we have from them, they had everybody out there. There was no players listed on the injury report. So the Broncos are fully healthy. Vikings got a couple guys banged up. We'll wait and see if, obviously if Jefferson ends up going. But diving into this preview here, let's start off with the Denver Broncos. Let's just kind of get to know Denver and what they've been kind of going throughout this entire season. Listen, the Denver Broncos, they obviously started off the season not too hot, just like our Minnesota Vikings. But the past 4 weeks, they've been playing pretty good football. Week 7, they did lose at the Chiefs, but they kept it tight the whole time. Week 8, they did beat the Packers 19-17. And then the last 2 weeks, you pick up 2 big-time wins against the Chiefs and the Bills, winning 24-9 and winning this past, Monday night, 24-22. What a collapse that was by the Buffalo Bills. 12 men on the field for a game-winning field goal. Never seen anything like that in my life. But a big reason why the Broncos have turned around their season is because of this defense. Absolutely incredible with what they have done. Still not an elite top 5, top 7 defense, but a very good and serviceable defense. Weeks 1 through 3. Obviously the numbers are a little skewed because of that Dolphins game where they gave up 70 points. But listen, they gave up 40 points a night compared to 21 over the last 6 weeks, and the record's 4-2. But the takeaways: 20 takeaways to 1 takeaway, 13 sacks to 4 sacks. Just the yards overall allowed per game. They go down by nearly 75, and obviously the overall record is better. So I think this Vikings offense is going to have their hands full, but this is a good Vikings offense. Let's all remember that. Total yards, still top 10. Passing yards, still 3rd in the league, even with Josh Dobbs in there. Rushing yards, that's been where the Vikings have really struggled, but points per game, top 12 in the league, and they've always been pretty solid on 3rd down because of that guy, T.J. Hockenson. So it's going to be a battle. Vikings offense versus that Denver Broncos defense. But there's 3 guys that I'm mainly focusing in on here that just causes a matchup problem for whatever team you have to play. No matter what the team is that the Vikings are going against, I'm always going to say they have the advantage on the outside because of these 3 guys right here. Jefferson, Addison, and Hockenson. Hopefully we do get 18 back again 95% chance that he will play this weekend. But when he's out there, and earlier this year, he was averaging 114 yards a game, 570 yards total. And then Jordan Addison really looks like a true wide receiver one now. Can't wait to see how he's going to play after getting his confidence up with Jefferson being out. And then T.J. Hockenson. He's been absolutely great this year, already almost to 700 yards. Like, we all know he was struggling at the early half of this year, but he has really gotten it going as of late. And that's my kind of point. Like, the offense is only going to keep, getting better here in Minnesota. Like, obviously, when we thought, or when Kirk Cousins went down and Josh Dobbs had to step in, and when Jefferson went down and Jordan Addison had to step in, obviously we thought this offense was going to take a huge step back. But honestly, during that time, I feel like Addison's gotten better. I feel like Kevin O'Connell's gotten better as a play caller. Now you're going to add 18 back into this fold. Hoo-wee. I think this offense is going to be cooking with grease this weekend. But if you guys think the Vikings will win this weekend, hopefully with Justin Jefferson back in this lineup, let's just get the good vibes going. Give me a skull down in the comments section. I want it looking like U.S. Bank Stadium on a Sunday. Get the skulls going if you think the Vikings will catch a dub this weekend. Coming up next here, we got some keys to victory versus Denver Broncos. 3 things that I think the Vikings need to do to get a victory in Denver this weekend. But first, I do got to give a big-time shout-out to PrizePicks. PrizePicks is sponsoring today's edition of Vikings Now. You may be asking, what is PrizePicks? Well, PrizePicks is daily fantasy made easy. All you got to do is pick 2 or more players, choose more or less on their projected stat types, and start rolling in the cash today. This is a lineup that I'm going to be rolling with this weekend. I'm going more than 1.5 passing touchdowns for C.J. Stroud. And then they got a fun one. They got more than half a touchdown for Travis Kelce and Jason Kelce, a little fun little mix for the Chiefs-Eagles game. Then I'm also going to go more on half a rushing touchdown for Hurts, and then more than 86.5 receiving yards for CeeDee Lamb. You guys can either fade my picks or you guys can ride with me, but make sure you guys do it at PrizePicks. PrizePicks.com/CLNS and use code CLNS for a first deposit match up to $100. I'll put that link for you guys in the comment section and the description of today's show. Make sure you check it out. Get hooked up with PrizePicks today. But my number one key to victory here, this guy, Tai Chandler. Can't wait to watch him cook up this weekend. Obviously, with Madison suffering that concussion, we are going to see a heavy dose of number 32 in this lineup. And listen, his stats last week against the Saints, not going to blow you away. He had 15 carries, 45 yards, but we saw the explosiveness. And Vikings running back coach this past week, he said, anytime Tai Chandler touches the football, a positive play happens. Honestly, 3 yards per carry, nothing to write home about. But I thought he looked explosive with the football. I think just once he kind of gets his kind of feet wet more in the offense, like he will really, take that step. And listen, I'm ready to be right about Tai Chandler. I've been pounding this table since last preseason that this guy needs to get the football just because every single time I watch him play, something positive happens. And I'm just ready to see him absolutely ball out. And hopefully the Vikings can establish a run this Sunday night. Maybe a little QB power, maybe a little read option with him and Ty, and this Vikings run game can get going. Number 2, keys to victory for the Vikings to beat the Denver Broncos. Let's just have the defense stay hot. Listen, this defense dating back to last season, they were terrible. They were last in almost every statistical category. This year, the complete opposite. And dating back since the 0-3 start, the Vikings defense is on an absolute tear right now. Shout out to Kevin Seifert for tweeting this out, but they're 4th in points allowed per game, 5th in defensive efficiency, 5th in defensive EPA, and 5th in takeaways, and 7th in yards per game. They've been on a heater, and that's with going against the Chiefs and the Niners in that stretch against really good offenses. Just a little shout-out to Brian Flores, but they're going to be going up against the Denver Broncos, but obviously Russell Wilson, the quarterback for the Broncos. And he has had a completely different year than he did back in 2022. Listen, Russell Wilson has thrown for 18 touchdowns, 4 picks this year. Completely different than what he used to be the year before in Denver, where he really struggled. And obviously him and Nathaniel Hackett didn't have the best relationship, but it seems like Sean Payton is getting the most out of him. And I need Danielle Hunter. I need number 99 to game wreck this game because he's going to have a great chance to. Obviously, Hunter tied for the league in sacks, tied for the league in TFLs as well. I need number 99 to dominate. He's going to have a chance to dominate. This is the right tackle for the Denver Broncos this season, Mike McGlinchey. He's had a very up and down year. But listen, I really think no matter who the right tackle is, unless it's like freaking Trent Williams, but even Danielle Hunter got the best of Trent Williams that one Monday night game. But I think he could have the best of Mike McGlinchey on the Sunday night stage. Just 99, get after Russell Wilson, and some good things will happen. Number 3 here is kind of a bit of a chalk answer, but also an answer where it's like, don't overthink it. Like, welcome 18 back. Like, if he's going to be out there, that means he's 110%. Welcome Justin Jefferson back, because honestly, I've seen a lot of top 5 lists come out this past week, or top 3 list of who the best receiver is excuse me, in the NFL. I think people are forgetting how good he really is. Like, he was on pace this season to go for over 2,300 yards. I think a lot of these kind of media heads are just kind of forgetting who he is. So let's go remind them on a Sunday night, on the big-time stage, with Josh Dobbs at quarterback, with Addison, with Hockenson. Go show people how truly explosive this offense can be with 18 back in the lineup. Again, not 100% certain he is playing, but I think we're right there at 99.999 until it is Sunday, and we get that notification that he is in the lineup. So welcome him back. Welcome number 18 back by typing his jersey number down below in the comment section. I can't wait just to see this offense back with him in the lineup, and honestly just to see him hit the gritty on Sunday Night Football. Ooh, gives me chills just even thinking about it. But you guys can give me a follow on Twitter if you guys haven't already, at Pat Sieps. Link in the comment section and description of today's show. Thank you guys so much for watching. See y'all next time. Skol Vikes.